Everyone talks about the $1,000 Pokemon cards, your Moonbreon, your Rayquaza VMAX Evolving Skies, your Gengar VMAX Fusion Strike, but what if you only had $500 to spend only on Sword and Shield cards? How sweet of a collection could you build? That's what we're going to take a look at today with this little challenge I put together for myself. And rules are very simple to it. $500 budget, only looking at Sword and Shield era cards. It is only raw cards. We're not looking at graded right now. And really, we're just trying to maximize value here. We want to see what sort of collection we can build for long term growth, diversify across a few different cards, all for 500 bucks. So without wasting any more time, let's get into the first card that I found. Look right here. I'm talking about the Lugia Vstar Gold Secret Rare from Silver Tempest. It's 21 bucks. I'm actually a bigger fan of these gold cards than the ones we're getting now with Mega Evolution, Phantasmal Flames, Ascended Heroes. I just think that those look a little bit closer to the fake cards that everyone rips on. Um, these to me were never actually my favorite, but I still like that you get the actual color of the Pokemon on the card, the gold background. Lugia is a super popular Pokemon. V-Star cards were not around for very long, just a very short stint in the TCG. So I think there's some value there for 21 bucks. Okay, moving on to the next one. We've got the Umbreon VMAX. No, not the Moonbreon. Unfortunately, our budget does not allow for that, but we can pick this card up for 22 bucks. I like it. Akira Igawa is the artist. She does some incredible work. My favorite card that she does is the Mega Latias from Mega Evolution. I think that card is also being slept on, but we're not talking about that today. The Umbreon VMAX for 22 bucks is a solid pick. Umbreon will go up over time. It always does. I think, we could do a lot worse than to pick a copy up for 22 bucks in our cart. All right, next one. We've got the Tornadus V alt art. I love this alt. It is I think it's the cheapest one in the Sword and Shield era right now. It's 20 bucks. If it's not the cheapest, it's one of the cheapest. But what I like about it, and I've said this before, I love cards that you get other Pokemon in the art. So you've got Tornadus, sure, not the most popular Pokemon, but you've also got a Scorbunny, a Rockruff, a couple other Pokemon kind of flying around in the air. I think it's a hilarious card, and I think there's some really good value in it at 20 bucks. The chart on it, it's kind of gotten hammered, and really for no reason, in my opinion. Obviously, Sword and Shield's completely out of print. I think that this is kind of a base for this card before it moves back up. All right, on to the next one. We've got the Blaziken V Trainer Gallery with May. May is obviously from, the anime and stylized in the Gen 3 games. For $24, I think this is a great pickup. I actually like this card better than the Blaziken VMAX Trainer Gallery. That's just my opinion. I think the art style on this is a little bit cooler. Blaziken doing the Blaze kick is super cool. For 24 bucks, we've got to add it to the list. Okay, next up is one of my favorite alt arts of all time, and I don't understand how it's 24 bucks. I'm talking about the Genesect breakdancing card from Fusion Strike. $24 for a breakdancing Genesect. Say less, guys. I don't need any more convincing on it. Next up, we've got the Pikachu Crown Zenith Secret Rare. Crown Zenith has some really great pull rates, but this card is actually relatively hard to pull. At least compared to some of the other cards. Pikachu's on it, surrounded by a bunch of other Pokemon from the Galar region. I think you could do a lot worse. Okay, next up, we got the Charizard VMAX promo. There's, 3 different promo Charizards in the UPC, but this one, it's specific to the Sword and Shield era. It's the VMAX version. Really cool artwork, $35. In my eyes, this card will be a $70 price point probably within the next year or two. Like, I think this card is an easy double up from here, and I see no reason it should not be added to this list. Okay, next up, I apologize in advance to my Entei and Suicune fans. We're going to go with the Raikou Galarian Gallery card for $35. I love the motion in this card. It looks like, you can actually feel he's running at the speed of light. Um, really like that piece to it. Suicune and Entei are also great pickups, but we've got a budget to stick to, so we can't pick up all three. I think this one might be the best value right now. If you disagree, let me know. But for 35 bucks, we've got to add it. Next, we've got the Arceus V Alt Art, $48. I think this card is being slept on. You've got all of Sinnoh in the background, as if I know this is not possible because he doesn't have fingers, but it's like Arceus snapped his fingers and Sinnoh appeared. And I think that it is super cool. $48. It's kind of just been riding this low, um, really been hammered down here. I don't think it goes really much lower. And honestly, I think it starts to build off of this price point. Next up, we've got the Umbreon V Trainer Gallery. I get that this is technically a trainer Pokemon. You've got Karen in the background. Um, hmm, $50 though. Umbreon's front and center on the card. Can you really go wrong with that? I mean, Umbreon always performs well. Go look at any Umbreon card in history of the Pokemon TCG. Pretty much all of them do significantly well over time. I think for $50, this is a great value pickup. Okay, next up, I've got the Mewtwo V from Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go is not a popular set. It kind of was on drop, but then I think everyone quickly realized it was pretty lackluster. But a Mewtwo card floating around in Times Square, I think that that is super cool. And for, that 40 to 45 range, uh, I don't see any reason it should not be on this list. Mewtwo, original 151, extremely popular, one of the most popular Pokemon. Why should it not be on this list? Okay, we've got two cards left. This next one is my all-time favorite alt art in the entire Sword and Shield era, and it might be biased, but I'm talking about the Celebi V alt art from Fusion Strike. It's $63, and I get so much nostalgia, I think, from this card because it reminds me of the Pokemon Forever movie. Celebi was kind of the main focus of that, and that might be a biased take on it, but for $63 in Fusion Strike, which is just continuing to climb higher and higher, kind of that second set behind Evolving Skies, I think this card starts to climb significantly in price. It's super undervalued at 63 bucks. We're going to add it. That leaves us with around 80 bucks left in our budget. And what better card to end on than Pikachu VMAX featuring Red, who started it all with the original games. Obviously, Pikachu in a VMAX form specific to Sword and Shield era. It's $80. It's part of Lost Origin Trainer Gallery. I think this card rises significantly over the years. There's a lot of PSA 10 copies of it for sure. So, right now we're just looking at the raw card. But even just that, I think there's a lot of value in that card. That puts us close to 500 bucks. I think we're a couple bucks off, but honestly, we're not accounting for tax. So that would probably put us a little bit over. That's okay. It's close enough. That is what I got on the list for 500 bucks on a shopping spree for Sword and Shield cards. I think we got some really good pickups. And really, the point of this little challenge was just to showcase how undervalued a lot of Sword and Shield is right now. It's everyone's focus is on S&V, and I've even put out a few videos of like some really good opportunities in S&V right now. But guys, don't sleep on Sword and Shield. It's completely out of print. We're not getting reprints of Sword and Shield. At least, 99% chance that's not going to happen. I think we're going to start to see some significant rises in these cards, especially those higher dollar ones if you're able to grab them. But today we just focused on, what we could get for 500 bucks. If you like this content, then like, comment, subscribe. We're going to be doing a lot of videos just like this one, hopefully putting out some, other content with some other challenges, things of that nature. But thank you for tuning in. If you watched all the way to the end, I greatly appreciate it. And let's get hunting.